On the vast plains of Botswana, where the merciless sun reigns supreme and the law of the jungle rules, an extraordinary story was about to unfold. Marcus Hoffman, a dedicated zoologist, could never have imagined that a simple patrol in the savannah would change his life forever. One moment he was just another scientist studying wildlife. The next, he became the unlikely guardian of one of Africa's most feared predators. This is the story of a man, a lioness, and a bond that defied nature, captured hearts, and proved that love can blossom in the most unexpected places. Get ready for an emotional journey that will question everything you thought you knew about the limits of friendship and compassion. Suddenly, a faint, anguished sound cut through the air. Marcus braked sharply, exchanging a puzzled look with Jakob. "Did you hear that?" he asked, already turning off the engine. The two men got out of the vehicle, their senses on high alert. The hot, dry air immediately enveloped them, bringing with it the characteristic aroma of the African savanna. Cautiously, they approached the source of the sound, the tall grass brushing their legs. Marcus could feel his heart racing, a mixture of fear and anticipation taking over him. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they spotted the source of the moaning, 3 tiny lion cubs, barely visible in the yellowish vegetation. The scene that unfolded before them was heartbreaking. 2 of the cubs lay motionless, their little lives already extinct. The third, a little ball of golden fur no bigger than a house cat, looked at Marcus with huge, frightened eyes, as if begging for help. At that moment, Marcus felt something shift inside him, as if fate had just given him a push in a totally unexpected direction. "My God, Jacob," Marcus whispered, his voice cracking with emotion. "We can't leave him here." Jacob, always the more cautious of the two, hesitated. His years of experience on the reservation have made him develop a healthy respect for nature and its unforgiving laws. "Marcus, think about it," he warned. "It's a wild animal. It can be dangerous. Furthermore, interfering in the natural course of things is not always the best option." But Marcus had already made his decision. Something in those frightened eyes had touched him deeply. Carefully, he approached the surviving cub. To his surprise, the little lion didn't back down. On the contrary, he staggered towards him, as if recognizing in him a last chance of survival. With heavy hearts, they buried the 2 cubs that did not survive, paying silent tribute to the lives lost so soon. Marcus couldn't help but think about the mother of these cubs, wondering what cruel fate could have separated her from her babies. Poachers? Another predator? The possibilities were many and none of them pleasant. Marcus then took the puppy in his arms, feeling his fragile and trembling body. The small animal weighed surprisingly little, and Marcus could feel its ribs beneath its soft fur. "I'll call you Nala," he declared, a determined gleam in his eyes, "and I will do everything for her to survive." Jacob looked at his friend with a mixture of admiration and concern. "Are you sure about this, Marcus? Raising a lion isn't like having a pet cat. It's a huge responsibility." Marcus nodded, his resolve unshakable. "I know, Jacob, but I can't just turn my back. Something tells me that this meeting wasn't by chance. Maybe it's my chance to make a difference, to give something back to the nature that I've always loved and studied." As they walked back to the SUV, Marcus held Nala carefully, feeling the warmth of her small body against his chest. He knew the road ahead would be challenging, full of uncertainty and possible danger. But in that moment, looking at that little life in his arms, Marcus felt a certainty he had never experienced before. Whatever the outcome, he would do his best to make sure Nala had a chance at life. As the SUV cut through the savannah again, now with an extra passenger, Marcus couldn't help but feel like his life had just taken a completely new turn. What had begun as another day of routine patrol had turned into the beginning of an extraordinary journey. A story of unlikely friendship that would defy the laws of nature and touch the hearts of all who met it. The days following Nala's rescue were a roller coaster of emotions and challenges for Marcus. The little lioness was malnourished and scared, initially refusing to eat anything he offered. Marcus spent sleepless nights, frantically researching baby lion nutrition and improvising a bottle with a special mixture recommended by wildlife veterinarians. Local veterinarian Dr. Amale, a middle-aged man with decades of experience in African wildlife, became a crucial ally. He visited regularly to check on Nala and guide Marcus. "You're doing an amazing job, Marcus," he said, examining Nala carefully. "But remember, she is not a pet. One day she will have to return to the wild." Amale's words echoed in Marcus's mind as he watched Nala grow. From a fragile cub that fit in the palm of her hand, she quickly transformed into a young lioness full of life. His fur, once dull and thin, now glowed with health, and his eyes, once frightened, now sparkled with curiosity and energy. Nala's needs. She turned the yard into a safe playground, with trees for her to climb and hiding places to explore. He spent hours playing with her, using toys to simulate prey and teach her hunting skills. Together they explored the property, Nala always a few steps ahead, her insatiable curiosity driving her to investigate every nook and cranny. As Nala grew, so did the challenges. Her diet evolved from dairy to meat, and Marcus had to learn to balance her diet to ensure she received all the nutrients she needed. The costs were high, but Marcus didn't care. For him, seeing Nala prosper was more valuable than any amount of money. Neighbors, initially curious and even enchanted by the unusual addition to the community, began to express concern as Nala grew older. "It's a wild animal, Marcus," they warned. "She can't stay here forever. What if she escapes? What if she hurts someone?" Marcus's heart sank every time he heard those words. He knew they were true, but the thought of being separated from Nala was almost unbearable. It had become more than a conservation project. She was his companion, his friend, an integral part of his life. The decision Marcus feared so much was rushed when he received a job offer in Germany. "It was an opportunity I couldn't turn down, a chance to work on a large-scale conservation project that could benefit countless species. But it meant leaving Nala behind." With a heavy heart, Marcus made arrangements to move Nala to a nearby nature reserve. He spent weeks preparing her, trying to gradually get her used to the idea of a new environment. But how do you explain to an animal, even one as intelligent as Nala, that her life was about to change drastically? The day of separation was the hardest day of Marcus's life. Nala seemed to sense something was wrong, following him with restless eyes throughout the house. When it was time to leave, Marcus hugged her one last time, tears running freely down his face. "You're going to be okay, my girl," he whispered, his voice cracking with emotion. "Be strong, be free. Remember everything I taught you." As the backup car drove away, carrying Nala, Marcus felt as if a part of his heart was being ripped out. He knew he was doing right, that Nala needed to be with others of her kind, living the life she was born to live. But the knowledge didn't make the separation any less painful. The months that followed were torment for Marcus. Even immersed in his new job in Germany, his thoughts constantly returned to Nala. News from the reservation indicated that she was having difficulty adapting. She seemed depressed, interacting little with other lions and often staying alone, as if she expected Marcus to appear at any moment. Unable to bear the thought of Nala suffering, Marcus made an impulsive decision. He took the first flight back to Africa, determined to see his feline friend again, if only one last time. He didn't know what to expect, if Nala would recognize him, if there would still be that special connection between them. but he knew he had to try. For Nala and for himself,